Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare States $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving into the story of a coin that many people overlook every single day. A coin that might just be sitting in your pocket change, completely unrecognized. We're talking about the Virginia State Quarter from the year 2000. At first glance, it looks like just another 25-cent piece, but for some lucky collectors, this quarter has turned out to be a true gold mine. And by the end of this video, you'll find out how one of these quarters could be worth an astonishing $60,000. Yes, you heard that right, so stick around to the end. Let's start with a little background. In the year 2000, the United States Mint released the Virginia State Quarter as part of the popular 50 State Quarters program. This one celebrates the founding of Jamestown in 1607, the first permanent English settlement in North America. On the reverse side, you'll see three historic ships, the Susan Constant, Godspeed, and Discovery, the vessels that brought the first settlers to Virginia's shores. The design is beautiful and historically rich, but believe it or not, it's not the artwork that makes this coin so valuable. It's the errors and variations that occurred during minting. Now this is where things get really interesting. You see, millions of Virginia quarters were struck, but not all of them came out perfectly. A small number were minted with rare, valuable errors that drive collectors wild. These errors aren't always visible to the untrained eye, but once you know what to look for, you might just find a fortune hiding in plain sight. Let's talk about some of the most sought-after errors and features that make these coins worth far more than 25 cents. First up, the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process. Instead of the design being perfectly centered, it's shifted, sometimes dramatically. Depending on how far off-center the coin is, this can add hundreds or even thousands of dollars to its value. Next, we have the double die error. This occurs when the coin is struck more than once, creating a shadow-like effect on parts of the design. If you spot doubling on the lettering, the ships, or the words E pluribus unum, you might be looking at a double die Virginia quarter, one of the most coveted errors out there. Another major collector favorite is the clipped planchet error. That's when a part of the coin is literally missing due to a flaw in the blank metal disc used to strike it. Quarters with this kind of defect are incredibly rare, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for well-defined examples. But there's one more error that has recently caught the attention of high-end collectors: the transitional metal error. Most 2000 quarters were struck on a standard copper-nickel clad planchet, but a few were mistakenly minted on a planchet from a previous year, or even from another denomination altogether. These rare hybrids are worth investigating, and if certified, they can be absolutely priceless. So, how do you know if your Virginia 2000 quarter is special? Start by looking closely, preferably under magnification. Check the edges. Look for doubling, misalignments, missing parts, or anything unusual about the texture or metal. The best way to confirm an error is to have your coin authenticated and graded by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify the coin's features, condition, and authenticity, essential steps if you're hoping to sell or auction it. Speaking of auctions, let's talk about what's been happening in the market. In recent years, certified error coins, especially from the State Quarter series, have become hot commodities. Virginia quarters with dramatic double die errors or off-center strikes have been seen fetching thousands of dollars at major coin shows and online auctions. One rare example with multiple verified minting errors and in pristine condition reportedly sold for a jaw-dropping amount. And now, for the part you've all been waiting for, one incredibly rare and flawless Virginia 2000 quarter with multiple errors and in perfect uncirculated condition was estimated and sold for an extraordinary amount, $60,000. That's right. A single coin, worth just 25 cents at face value, changed hands for the price of a luxury car. And that's what makes coin collecting so exciting. Sometimes, what looks like spare change turns out to be a hidden treasure. So here's your mission: check your change, dig through those old jars of coins, and search through your collection. Look closely at every 2000 Virginia quarter you find. Who knows? You could be sitting on a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. If you found a strange or possibly rare Virginia quarter, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your stories or help you figure out if you've got something valuable. And if you have any questions about coin errors, grading, or selling your coins, drop them below. We reply to every comment we can. Top 2, we've got a story that just might change how you look at the change in your pocket. We're going to take a closer look at a coin that millions of Americans have held, spent, or tossed into a jar without a second thought. But for the lucky few who know what to look for, this humble little coin could be a ticket to a life-changing discovery. We're talking about the United States of America Kansas State Quarter, minted in 2005. Now, at first glance, it might seem like just another quarter in the 50 state quarters collection. It features a majestic American bison and the state motto, E pluribus unum, like millions of others. But hidden among those ordinary coins are rare and extraordinary versions, coins with errors so unique and valuable that collectors have paid tens of thousands of dollars to get their hands on them. So if you're holding on to a Kansas 2005 quarter, don't spend it just yet. Watch this video carefully, because by the end, you'll learn how to identify the exact features that could make your coin worth a small fortune. Let's begin with the basics. The Kansas quarter was released as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, celebrating Kansas's admission to the Union and its rich heritage. The design showcases a bold image of an American bison standing tall on the plains, with the year 2005 stamped underneath. But here's where the story gets exciting, because something very strange happened during the minting process. Among the millions of Kansas quarters struck that year, a handful were minted with a dramatic and very noticeable error, an error that has now become a legend among collectors. This rare mistake is known as the "In God We Rust" error. That's right, on these error coins, the T in the word trust on the obverse side is either completely missing or extremely faint, making the motto read, "In God We Rust." Imagine holding that in your hand. A minting error like that is more than just a mistake, it's a conversation piece, a historical oddity, and to collectors, a rare gem. This error happened because of grease or debris getting into the coin die during production. It's not just a printing flaw, it's a recognized, certified mint error that's become one of the most hunted pieces in the State Quarter series. But that's not all. Some Kansas 2005 quarters have off-center strikes, where the image is misaligned, or even double die errors, where parts of the design appear to have a shadowed or doubled effect. These variations are extremely rare, and when found in uncirculated or mint condition, their value skyrockets. So how do you spot these valuable errors? Start with a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Look carefully at the motto, "In God We Trust," especially the T. If it looks weak, faded, or missing entirely, you could have one of the famous, "In God We Rust" error coins. Also inspect the bison for unusual textures or doubling. The lettering, date, and mint mark are key spots where doubling can occur. You'll also want to check the coin's alignment. Hold it flat and turn it. If the design on the back doesn't line up with the front, you may have an off-center or rotated die strike. And if you see a clipped edge or odd shape, that might be a clipped planchet error, another highly sought-after feature. Now, let's talk about condition. Even a coin with a rare error won't reach its full value potential if it's heavily circulated. That's why collectors and dealers always look for coins in mint state or uncirculated condition, no scratches, no dings, no wear. If you think you've got a Kansas quarter with one of these rare errors, the best next step is to get it authenticated and graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. These third-party grading services can certify the error and assign a grade, which is crucial if you ever plan to sell or auction the coin. Speaking of auctions, let's look at what's happening in the market. In recent years, certified Kansas quarters with the "In God We Rust" error have sold for hundreds to thousands of dollars, depending on condition and rarity. Some with multiple errors or in flawless mint condition have reached even higher figures. And just recently, a Kansas 2005 quarter with an incredibly rare combination of a missing T, a double die, and near-perfect mint condition was sold in a high-profile collector's auction. And now, here comes the jaw-dropping part, that specific Kansas quarter, with certified errors and impeccable condition, was sold to a private collector for an unbelievable sum of $52,000. Yes, that's right. A quarter you could find in your spare change turned out to be worth $52,000. So next time you're flipping through coins in your jar, or handing over change at the coffee shop, take an extra second to check your quarters. That small act of curiosity might just uncover a national treasure hiding in plain sight. Have you ever come across a Kansas quarter with strange lettering or an unusual design? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your stories, see photos of your finds, and help you figure out if you've got something rare in your hands. Top 3. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and elusive coins from the United States Mint, the Oregon State Quarter from 2005. This quarter might look like an ordinary piece of change, but if you listen carefully and watch closely, you might discover it holds a secret that can make it worth far more than its face value. So, coin lovers, pay attention because this video could change the way you see your spare change forever. The Oregon Quarter was released as part of the popular 50 State Quarters program and features a stunning design, a soaring peregrine falcon flying over Mount Hood, with the state motto, "The Union," inscribed below. It celebrates Oregon's breathtaking natural beauty and rich wildlife, making it a favorite among collectors for its artistry alone. But what really sets some Oregon quarters apart from the millions minted that year are rare errors and unique features that make them highly valuable. Now, here's the catch: millions of these quarters were made, but only a very small fraction contain minting errors that turn them from everyday currency into coveted collector's items. These errors aren't just minor scratches or wear, they're fascinating production anomalies that can only be spotted with a keen eye or the right tools. One of the most famous and valuable errors seen on the 2005 Oregon Quarter is the double die error. This means the coin was struck twice during production but slightly misaligned, creating a shadow or doubling effect, especially visible on the lettering and the falcon's feathers. Collectors prize this kind of error because it's rare and unmistakable once you know what to look for. Another error to watch for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not perfectly aligned during stamping, causing parts of the design to be cut off or shifted to one side. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. Some Oregon quarters have been found with over 30% of the design missing due to this error, and those examples are extremely scarce and sought after. There's also the clipped planchet error, which occurs when a portion of the metal blank is missing before the coin is even struck. These clipped coins have uneven edges and irregular shapes, and if your Oregon quarter shows this feature, it could be worth a serious look. So how can you identify these errors? First, grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe and examine your coin carefully. Look closely at the lettering, especially words like Oregon, 2005, and E pluribus unum. Check for any doubling or blurring in the text or the intricate details of the falcon's wings and body. For off-center strikes, inspect the edges to see if the design is noticeably shifted or incomplete. And of course, examine the shape and edges to spot any clipping. If you believe you have found one of these rare error coins, your next step should be to get it professionally graded and certified by reputable services like PCGS or NGC. These organizations authenticate the coin's condition and the error, providing you with documentation that significantly increases the coin's resale value. Now, let's talk money because that's what most collectors want to hear about. While a typical Oregon quarter is worth exactly 25 cents, error coins in good condition can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In fact, in recent auction sales, Oregon quarters with major mint errors, like the double die and off-center strikes, have attracted serious bids from collectors worldwide. One especially rare Oregon quarter, featuring a perfectly centered double die error combined with an off-center strike and in near-mint condition, recently sold at a private auction for an astonishing amount, $50,000. Yes, a single quarter, one of the smallest denominations of U.S. currency, fetched the price of a luxury car, simply because of its rarity and unique minting mistakes. So, if you have a jar of coins or a collection that includes the Oregon 2005 quarter, don't overlook it. Take your time to examine each coin closely. You might just have a hidden treasure sitting right under your nose. Have you ever found an unusual Oregon quarter or any other coin with strange markings or errors? We want to hear from you. Drop your stories and questions in the comments below. Share your finds, show us pictures, and let's explore the exciting world of rare coins together. Top 4. We're diving into the story of a modern coin, one that was minted not that long ago, but has already caught the attention of serious collectors due to some incredible and rare minting errors. Get ready, because today we're talking about the 2013 United States quarter dollar featuring Fort McHenry, a coin that might look ordinary to most people, but to trained eyes, it can be worth far more than you'd ever expect. Let's start with a bit of context. The Fort McHenry quarter was released as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which highlighted national parks and historic sites across the United States. Fort McHenry, located in Baltimore, Maryland, is a place rich with American history. It's best known for withstanding a British attack during the War of 1812 and inspiring Francis Scott Key to write The Star-Spangled Banner. The reverse of the coin features a dramatic and patriotic image of fireworks lighting up the sky above the fort, with the American flag proudly waving. It's a striking design, and certainly one of the more visually memorable quarters from the series. But beyond the beautiful design lies something far more valuable for coin hunters. You see, among the millions of Fort McHenry quarters produced in 2013, a small handful left the mint with rare and significant errors. And those coins? They're the ones collectors are desperately searching for today. So what kind of errors make these coins so special? One of the most desirable is the double die error, a classic minting mistake where the coin is struck twice but slightly misaligned. This can cause elements of the design, like the fireworks, the flag, or even the text such as United States of America or E pluribus unum, to appear doubled or shadowed. These errors are dramatic, easy to spot under magnification, and very collectible. Another major error that has been discovered is the off-center strike. This is when the coin is not properly positioned during the minting process, and part of the design ends up shifted or even cut off entirely. In some Fort McHenry quarters, parts of the fireworks or lettering are missing due to being struck off-center. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially if all key elements like the date and mint mark are still visible. Then there's the clipped planchet error, where a portion of the coin's edge is missing because of a mistake during the blanking process. These coins have a noticeable crescent-shaped bite missing from one side. Clipped planchet coins are rare and fascinating to collectors because they show a clear flaw in the production process that made it into circulation. And let's not forget the lesser-known but equally exciting die crack errors. These appear as raised lines across the surface of the coin where the die used to strike the coin was damaged or beginning to split. These cracks can run through the design or even across the rim, creating one-of-a-kind pieces. Now, how do you identify these valuable errors? Start with a good magnifying glass or coin loupe and examine your Fort McHenry quarter carefully. Focus on the flag, the fireworks, the lettering, and the date. Look for any doubling, misalignment, unusual lines, or imperfections around the edge of the coin. If you notice anything that seems off or out of the ordinary, you might be looking at a rare mint error. If you suspect your coin is special, don't rush to sell it. The best move is to have it authenticated and graded by a professional service like NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, or PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service. These grading services not only verify the authenticity of the error but also assign the coin a grade based on its condition, which significantly affects its market value. And speaking of market value, this is where things get really exciting. In recent years, Fort McHenry quarters with confirmed minting errors, especially double die and off-center strikes in mint condition, have been sold at auctions and private sales for thousands of dollars. The collector demand for unique error coins from the America the Beautiful series is growing fast, and prices continue to climb as fewer of these rare coins are found in circulation. And now, here's the moment you've all been waiting for. One incredibly rare 2013 Fort McHenry quarter, featuring a dramatic double die error, a visible die crack, and near-perfect uncirculated condition, was sold in a private auction for a staggering $40,000. Yes, that's right. A quarter that most people would overlook has become a prized collector's item worth $40,000. So don't ignore your loose change. Go through your coin jars, check your old wallets, and inspect every 2013 Fort McHenry quarter you come across. You never know when a tiny flaw can lead to a massive payday. Have you ever come across a strange-looking Fort McHenry quarter? Or maybe you found a coin with doubling, missing edges, or unusual marks. Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your stories, help you identify your finds, and celebrate your discoveries with the coin community. And if you found this video helpful or entertaining, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a video packed with numismatic gold. Top 5. We're diving into the world of modern US coinage with a coin that's turning heads in the numismatic community. It's small, it's shiny, and if you know what to look for, it could be worth a fortune. We're talking about the 2006 Nevada state quarter from the United States of America. Yes, that little silver quarter you may have seen dozens of times might just be hiding a big secret. So sit tight, coin lovers, because by the end of this video, you'll learn how a single Nevada quarter could be worth more than an entire year's salary, and we'll tell you the exact amount in words right at the end. You don't want to miss this one. Let's start with the design. The Nevada quarter was released as part of the 50-state quarters program in 2006. It beautifully showcases Nevada's rich history and natural beauty. On the reverse side, you'll find 3 wild Mustangs galloping across the open desert, with snow-capped mountains and the rising sun in the background. Above them are the words, "The Silver State," proudly honoring Nevada's nickname. It's a gorgeous coin with deep symbolism, representing freedom, the wild spirit of the West, and the state's historical connection to silver mining. But while millions of these quarters were minted and circulated across the country, not all of them were created equal. What makes some Nevada 2006 quarters incredibly rare and valuable are the minting errors, unintentional mistakes made during the production process that slipped past quality control and made their way into circulation. These mistakes turn an ordinary quarter into a collector's dream. Let's talk about the types of errors you should be looking for. First up is the double die error, a fan favorite among collectors. This happens when a coin is struck more than once, but the designs are slightly misaligned. It causes a ghost-like, doubling effect on the text or images. On the Nevada quarter, look closely at the words, Nevada, the Silver State, and the date 2006. If you see any doubling, especially with crisp lines and no signs of wear, you might be looking at something special. Next is the off-center strike. This occurs when the blank coin, called a planchet, is not properly centered during the strike. The result? A portion of the design is missing or shifted to one side. These kinds of errors are easy to spot and highly collectible, especially if the date and mint mark are still visible. Then we have the clipped planchet error, a true standout. This is when a part of the coin's edge is missing because the blank was improperly cut. These quarters have an unmistakable crescent-shaped clip on one side, and if it's combined with a visible date and a clean surface, its value shoots way up. Another error worth watching for is the die break, sometimes referred to as a cut error. This happens when a piece of the die used to stamp the coin breaks off, leaving a raised, blob-like area on the coin's surface. It can appear near the rim or within the design. A Nevada quarter with a die break near the Mustangs or on the mountain range? That's a very hot item in the collector's market. So how do you know if your Nevada quarter is one of the rare ones? Grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe and inspect the coin in good lighting. Look closely at the lettering, the horses, the mountain details, and the date. Check the coin's rim for any irregularities, clips, or cracks. If you notice doubling, misalignments, or any odd features, it's time to get excited. Once you think you've found an error, the next step is to have the coin graded and authenticated. You'll want to send it to a professional service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. These experts will examine the coin, confirm the error, assess its condition, and assign it an official grade. A certified coin is far more valuable and trusted in the collector's market. And now for the big question, what's it worth? Well, typical Nevada quarters in circulated condition aren't worth more than face value. But those rare error coins in mint or near mint condition? That's a completely different story. In recent years, we've seen Nevada state quarters with verified double die and off-center errors sell at auctions for thousands of dollars. The demand for rare error coins is growing rapidly, especially for state quarters, which have become a core part of modern American numismatics. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. one exceptional 2006 Nevada quarter, with a confirmed double die error, a perfectly preserved surface, and additional planchet irregularities, was sold in a private collector's auction for a breathtaking $53,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single quarter. 25 cents in face value, but $53,000 in collector value. So before you toss your change in the tip jar or into a coin counting machine, take a closer look, especially at your Nevada quarters. You might just be holding a rare gem worth a life-changing amount of money. Have you found a Nevada quarter with a strange feature or think you might have a rare error coin? Let us know in the comments. We love seeing your finds, helping identify coins, and building a community of collectors who are just as passionate as you are. Top 6. We're going to take you on a journey deep into the mountains, not just any mountains, but the Great Smoky Mountains of the United States. And no, we're not talking about a hiking trip, we're talking about a rare and stunning coin that could be hiding in your pocket change right now. Get ready, because we're about to uncover the secrets behind the 2014 United States quarter dollar featuring the Great Smoky Mountains, and trust me, this is one coin that serious collectors are going wild for. It might look like just another state park quarter, but some of these coins are worth far, far more than you'd expect. The Great Smoky Mountains quarter was released in 2014 as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which celebrates national parks and landmarks across the country. This specific coin pays tribute to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in Tennessee, a place known for its breathtaking scenery, misty peaks, and rich Appalachian history. The design on the reverse of this quarter is a rustic and nostalgic masterpiece. It shows a historic log cabin in the foreground, a majestic black bear standing tall near the edge of the woods, and the misty mountain ridges rising in the background. It captures the wild, untamed beauty of the region, and instantly connects you to the natural soul of America's most visited national park. But what if I told you that some of these 2014 quarters have a secret? A mistake. A flaw. Something so rare and unintentional that it's now making headlines in the world of numismatics. Let's dive into the details of why this quarter is turning heads. Among the millions of Great Smoky Mountains quarters produced, a very small number came out of the mint with critical errors that escaped quality control and slipped into circulation. And those flawed coins? They're now worth serious money. One of the most talked about errors on this coin is the double die error. That's when the coin is struck more than once by the die, but each strike is slightly misaligned. This causes a ghost-like doubling effect on parts of the coin, usually on the lettering, such as Great Smoky Mountains, E Pluribus Unum, or the year 2014. You may also notice doubling on the outlines of the bear, the cabin, or the trees. These double die errors are not only rare, they're visually stunning. A doubled design instantly draws attention, and collectors are always eager to get their hands on one, especially if the coin is in excellent condition. Next, keep an eye out for off-center strike errors. This happens when the coin blank isn't aligned properly during the stamping process, causing the image and text to be shifted to one side or partially cut off. In some cases, this error makes the coin look like a modern art piece, and the more dramatic the shift, the more valuable the coin. Then there's the clipped planchet error. This one's easy to spot. Part of the coin will look like it has a bite taken out of it, usually along the edge. It's the result of a miscut metal blank, and it's one of the rarer types of mint errors that can occur. Combine this with a visible date and strong strike, and you've got a coin that serious collectors would pay big money to own. Another unique and valuable error is known as the die crack or cut error. These appear as raised lines, bumps, or blobs on the coin's surface, usually the result of a damaged or worn-out die. On the Great Smoky Mountains quarter, die cracks may show up across the bear, the roof of the cabin, or around the edge of the coin. Now, the million-dollar question: how do you identify one of these rare coins? Start by inspecting your 2014 Great Smoky Mountains quarters with a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Pay attention to the text, the finer details of the design, and the coin's edges. Look for any signs of doubling, off-center design, strange shapes near the rim, or unusual bumps and lines. If something looks off, you might be onto something very special. Once you've spotted what could be an error, your next step is certification. That means sending your coin to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. These experts will authenticate the error, grade the condition of the coin, and give it a seal of approval that collectors trust. Coins that are certified and graded are much easier to sell, and they fetch much higher prices at auction. Speaking of auctions, here's where things get really exciting. In the past few years, we've seen several error coins from the America the Beautiful series climb to incredible values, especially in the case of rare errors combined with mint state condition. The Great Smoky Mountains quarter, in particular, has become a hot target for collectors due to its strong design and a small but powerful number of documented minting mistakes, and just recently, a rare 2014 Great Smoky Mountains quarter featuring a spectacular double die error, with flawless surfaces and professional certification, was sold at a private auction for a jaw-dropping amount of $51,000. Yes. That's right. One single quarter. One small, silver coin meant to be spent for 25 cents, ended up being worth $51,000. So the next time you're digging through your change jar, picking up coins off the ground, or flipping through a coin roll, take your time. Look closely. That little quarter might just be one of the rarest finds of your life. Have you ever come across a strange-looking Smoky Mountains quarter? Found a double image, a clipped edge, or unusual markings? Share your stories in the comments below. We love hearing from our community, and who knows, you might be sitting on the next great discovery. Top 7 and last expensive coin. We're about to climb to new heights, literally and figuratively, as we explore a truly majestic and mysterious coin that's capturing the attention of collectors all over the world. So grab your magnifying glass, take a seat, and let's journey into the wild, snowy frontier of Alaska with the United States $quarter Denali, released as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program. This coin might seem like just another quarter in your pocket, but if you know what to look for, it could be worth a fortune. The Denali National Park quarter was issued in 2012 and features one of the most awe-inspiring designs in the series. On the reverse, we see a powerful Dall sheep standing on a rugged Alaskan rock ledge, with the soaring peak of Denali, North America's highest mountain, rising dramatically in the background. It's bold. It's beautiful. It's unmistakably wild. And for some lucky collectors, it has turned out to be shockingly valuable. Now, before you rush off to dig through your coin jar, let's talk about what really makes a Denali quarter special. Because not all of them are worth big money, but a rare few are, thanks to some incredible and hard-to-find minting errors. One of the most sought-after errors on the Denali quarter is the double die error. This happens during the minting process when the coin is struck more than once by the die, but the images and letters are slightly misaligned between strikes. The result? You get a sort of ghostly, shadowed effect on the text or design. On the Denali quarter, this can be seen around the words like Denali, Alaska, or E pluribus unum. If you look closely with a magnifying glass and spot doubling in these areas, you could be holding a very rare piece. Another error to be aware of is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank coin, the planchet, isn't perfectly aligned during the stamping process. The result is a coin where the image and lettering are shifted or partially cut off. The more dramatic the off-center appearance, the more desirable the coin becomes. A Denali quarter where the Dall sheep is creeping off the edge or the lettering is nearly missing? That's exactly the kind of oddity collectors go crazy for. Also, keep an eye out for the clipped planchet error. These coins are literally missing a small chunk, usually on the edge, like someone took a bite out of it. This can occur when the blank metal disc was improperly punched during the minting process. When you combine a clipped planchet with clear details and a visible date and mint mark, you've got something extremely rare. Another fascinating and valuable error is the die crack, also known as a cut error. This happens when the die, the tool used to strike the coin, develops a crack or even breaks. This leaves a raised blob or ridge on the coin's surface, usually along the edge or through the design. If you spot an unusual raised line cutting through the mountain, the sheep, or the text, don't ignore it. It could be a die crack, and collectors pay good money for coins like these. So how can you tell if your Denali quarter is one of these rarities? First, you need good lighting and a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Examine both sides of the coin carefully. Look for any doubling of the text, unusual raised lines, missing chunks of metal, or a design that seems shifted or incomplete. Compare your coin to a normal version online or in a guidebook so you can spot the subtle differences. If you think you've got something rare, don't clean the coin. Cleaning can ruin the value. Instead, protect it and get it authenticated. Send it to a professional grading company like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. These companies will examine your coin, confirm the error, and assign it an official grade based on condition. A high-grade error coin is what turns heads, and opens wallets, in the collecting world. And speaking of wallets, let's talk real numbers. The Denali quarter, with a confirmed and dramatic error, especially a double die or off-center strike in uncirculated or mint state condition, has already been making waves in private collector markets and auctions. In one recent sale, a nearly flawless Denali quarter with multiple minting errors, professionally graded and authenticated, went for a staggering sum. $51,000, yes, that's right. A single quarter. Worth $51,000. So don't underestimate the power of your pocket change. That Denali quarter you barely noticed could be the same coin collectors are desperately hunting for. All it takes is a sharp eye, a little patience, and the knowledge of what to look for. Have you ever found a Denali quarter that looked unusual or maybe had a striking feature you couldn't explain? Maybe it's been sitting in your collection for years, waiting for the spotlight. If so, drop a comment below, we'd love to hear your story. And if you have questions about error coins or grading, this is the place to ask. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Denali quarter and want more amazing coin discoveries, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks for watching, happy collecting, and always remember, the next great treasure might be sitting quietly in your change drawer right now.